Hi, I'm Brian Birdy, Vice President of Property Management Incorporated, where we're making property management manageable. I want to welcome you to Tip of the Week number 80, and today we're going to talk about how to have a successful owner presentation. Just like anything, preparation is what's going to set you up. You've got to be prepared that when you go and visit with any one of these owners, you're bringing them more information and you're preparing them for making the obvious choice of hiring you. So how do you do that? It's really not that complicated, but it's something that not everybody does. You get yourself set up with an owner who wants to talk to you about managing their home. Send them the information in advance. Almost everything I'm going to tell you about, you want to send it to them ahead of time so they can start reading through all this information, finding out what real questions they have. Presenting them with a really professional package as quickly as possible is very important. Let them know that you're going to send them everything for them to review, and you're going to bring all that with you to the appointment that you've set up. Now, the really big thing is to make sure you bring everything you possibly could need to that appointment to make the most of it. You have to have the mindset that you're bringing what you need to close the deal. Think about this. They're inviting you into their home. They need a property manager, and you have an appointment with them. You should go with the mindset that this meeting is going to lead to them hiring you. If you bring all the information and you've prepared them in advance, preparing them in advance is like sending them the information, letting them know about the appointment, and reminding them if they decide to hire you and you're ready to put your home on the market, that you'll need to do things like take measurements of the rooms, gather information about the house, and potentially take pictures. Warn them about that in case they decide they need to do something to their house before you get there. And if you get there and everything is picture perfect, they're already in the mindset that they're going to hire you. So here are the important things that I think any successful property manager should really be planning to bring with them when they meet that owner in their home. Of course, first off and most importantly is the actual property management agreement. That's where the whole discussion should start. So here's what you do. You bring 2 copies. You've already sent them one in advance. But if you're meeting face-to-face, you might as well go ahead and just get them to sign it right there. Unless you want to do it digitally, which is another option, and just have them signing it on your iPad. It might even be easier. But whether you're doing digitally or you're doing paperwork, you need to make sure that you can walk out of there without a signature. I always bring 2 copies, one for them and one for me, and 2 pens. Not one for each other. In case one runs out of ink, I want to make sure I got ink because they got to sign this contract today. Usually what I do when I walk in there is say, hey, I have the property management agreement here. Let's sit down and talk about this. Talk about the agreement first and the house second. I've already sent you everything in advance. Do you have any questions about this agreement? Generally, they'll either let you know right there what they're worried about, or they'll say no. And then you know there's 4 things or 5 things in your agreement that everybody needs to know about. You walk them through those and say, hey, let's go ahead and sign this. Then we can go ahead and take a look at the house. I bring a copy of the lease because odds are at this point we walk to the end, they've already signed this. So now we're under contract. I leave a copy of the lease so they can see what a lease is going to look like because they're not sure. I bring my CMA information because one of the questions usually at this point is what are we going to list the house for? And I want to be able to show them what that's going to be, not just tell them. I want to give them some proof of what the value should be, what the most money we can get out of that house, and how we can get the house rented in the time frame they need. And you need to be able to show that in facts and not just your opinion. And then, of course, I bring the listing form. If I'm going to need to gather data, whether you have one designed or if you have an MLS that you get to list this in, it's already probably set for you, but you want to be able to capture what does this house have and not forget anything when you get back to the office and start building this. Bring a camera. Most of us are using our iPhones as our camera or our cell phone or whatever, but maybe you have a really nice camera that you take all your photos with. Make sure you warn them that you're going to take pictures. And I come to every meeting with a sign and a lockbox, with the idea that if we've done all this and it's time to market that home, we should be walking out with the lockbox on the front door, the sign in the front yard. I'm going to go back and put this house on the market. This is how you can have a successful owner presentation. I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to provide the data that you need, but I'm going to come prepared to close this deal by bringing all these things to every single appointment that I have. Do I close 100% when I walk in the door this way? No. Do I close close to that? Yes. Why? Because I already have the assumption if I'm walking in prepared to close and they've invited me to the house, that's what's going to happen. Now you do this, you're going to grow your business. If you want to find more and other ways, better ways, interesting ways to grow your business, what you need to do is visit our website at doubleyourdoors.com and watch the webinar, What Every Property Manager Must Know to Double Their Doors Under Management. Again, I am Brian Birdy with PMI. Until next week, go out there and grow your doors.